Welcome back to Aviation India. Today, we're tackling a subject that makes many private pilots and aviation enthusiasts nervous. 7 planes most unsafe ever built. Unlike the big commercial disasters, here we're focusing on private aircraft that earned reputations for being unforgiving, risky, or outright dangerous to fly. Some were born from poor engineering, others from design choices that prioritize speed or innovation over safety. Stick with us until the end and tell us in the comments which one of these private planes you would never dare to step into. Mitsubishi MU-2. The MU-2 is notorious in general aviation history for being both incredibly fast and incredibly unforgiving. Introduced in the 1960s, it was marketed as a high-performance turboprop that could rival small jets in speed, but its short wings, high wing loading, and unique flight characteristics made it extremely difficult for pilots who were not highly trained. The MU-2 became infamous for its high accident rate, with many crashes linked not to mechanical failures, but to the inability of pilots to properly handle it, especially in low-speed approaches and landings. Its stall behavior could be vicious, leaving almost no room for error, and many considered it too much airplane for the private pilot market it was sold to. Over the years, the FAA had to introduce mandatory special training programs just to keep the MU-2 flying, an unusual move for any aircraft. Even though dedicated pilots who master it claim the MU-2 is safe when flown correctly, its reputation as one of the most dangerous private aircraft ever built remains firmly intact. Piper PA-46 Malibu, early models. The Piper Malibu was designed to be a pressurized single-engine aircraft that gave private owners an affordable taste of high-altitude luxury. But the early models quickly earned a reputation for being problematic and unsafe. The engine and pressurization system were prone to failure, leading to several fatal accidents that shook confidence in the aircraft. In the late 1980s, the FAA issued multiple airworthiness directives targeting the Malibu, effectively grounding parts of the fleet until modifications were completed. Pilots reported issues with engine reliability, icing vulnerabilities, and even in-flight structural concerns, which is the worst thing you can hear about a pressurized aircraft flying at altitudes above 20,000 feet. While later versions like the Mirage and Matrix improved reliability and safety, the original Malibu still carries the stigma of being a dangerous gamble for private pilots. Many owners who bought it expecting an efficient cross-country machine instead found themselves with an airplane that demanded constant caution and often failed to deliver confidence in the cockpit. Beechcraft Duchess 76. The Duchess 76 was introduced as a light twin trainer in private aircraft, but it soon revealed weaknesses that made it one of the more questionable designs in its class. With engines mounted closely to the fuselage, the Duchess struggled with single-engine performance, meaning that if one engine failed, the aircraft often became dangerously hard to control. This defeated the whole purpose of owning or training in a twin, where redundancy should provide safety. Accidents began to pile up when pilots couldn't maintain control in engine-out scenarios, and many instructors questioned its use as a training platform. Additionally, the Duchess lacked the robust build quality of other Beechcraft models, feeling more fragile in turbulence and giving pilots less confidence in rough weather. While it was marketed as an affordable step into twin ownership, its reputation grew as a plane that could easily turn a bad situation into a disaster, making it one of the most unsafe light twins in private aviation history. Cirrus SR20 early models. The SR20 was revolutionary when it was introduced, featuring composite materials, advanced avionics, and even the famous CAPS parachute system that could lower the entire aircraft to the ground in an emergency. But despite the innovation, early SR20 models developed a troubling reputation for high accident rates, particularly due to stalls and loss of control incidents. Many pilots who transitioned from traditional trainers to the SR20 found that its handling characteristics were less forgiving, and some relied too heavily on the parachute system instead of proper airmanship. Critics argued that the marketing of the Cirrus as a safe plane gave inexperienced pilots a false sense of security, leading to overconfidence in situations where skill was still essential. Although later safety programs and design tweaks greatly improved its record, the early years of the SR20 were marked by enough accidents to earn it a spot on this list. For many, it proved that even advanced technology cannot replace proper pilot training and discipline. Rockwell Commander 112. The Rockwell Commander 112 looked sleek and promised private pilots a comfortable four-seat traveler with modern styling, but quickly gained a reputation for underperforming and, worse, for questionable safety. The aircraft was often underpowered, struggling to deliver reliable climb performance, especially when fully loaded or operating from hot and high airports. Its handling in crosswinds was also criticized as unstable, leaving many pilots feeling uncomfortable during takeoffs and landings. But the most concerning issue was its stall characteristics, which could be abrupt and difficult to recover from if the pilot wasn't extremely alert. Owners soon discovered that what looked like a stylish, modern aircraft came with risks that overshadowed its comfort, and the market responded by avoiding it. The Commander 112 became an example of how design compromises and unmet promises can turn a good-looking airplane into a safety headache that private pilots learned to stay away from. Grumman AA-5A Cheetah. The AA-5A Cheetah was meant to be a fun, affordable four-seat trainer and private airplane, but it came with quirks that made it far less safe than its competitors. Its design prioritized speed and efficiency, but that also meant light construction and performance trade-offs that pilots had to be constantly aware of. In turbulence, the Cheetah felt less stable than similar aircraft like the Piper Archer or Cessna 172, and its stall characteristics were sharper, catching inexperienced pilots off guard. Many instructors reported that students transitioning from more forgiving trainers struggled to adapt to the Cheetah's demands, which raised concerns about its safety as a learning platform. Maintenance also became a challenge, with part supply and support being inconsistent over the years, leaving some aircraft in questionable flying condition. While enthusiasts who mastered it enjoyed its sporty feel, the Grumman Cheetah developed a reputation as a plane that could easily punish mistakes, making it one of the more unsafe private airplanes in its class. Piper Tomahawk. The Tomahawk was introduced in the late 1970s as a trainer designed specifically to meet flight school needs, but it quickly gained a dark nickname among pilots, the Tomahawk. Its T-tail design created unpredictable stall behavior, and in some conditions, the aircraft entered a flat spin that was extremely difficult, sometimes impossible, to recover from. Tragically, numerous training accidents occurred, with instructors and students caught in unrecoverable spins. While Piper made some modifications after safety concerns were raised, the Tomahawk never fully shed its reputation as a dangerous trainer. Flight schools that once embraced it began phasing it out, and private owners were often advised to avoid it altogether. Although it was inexpensive to operate and maintain, its track record made pilots question whether saving money was worth the risk. To this day, the Tomahawk remains one of the most infamous examples of how a small design flaw can make an aircraft one of the most unsafe choices in private aviation. And there you have it, 7 private planes remembered not for reliability, but for the dangers they pose to those who flew them. Would you ever dare to pilot one of these aircraft, or would you stay far away from them? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoy these aviation deep dives, and don't forget to subscribe to Aviation India for more content. Tell us also which airplane you want us to cover in the next video.